Comics from the High Republic era to the current Star Wars canon have impressed fans with dramatic stories that feature unforgettably dark endings. The Star Wars franchise has spawned plenty of excellent supplemental stories to the movies, and the comic book space has some equal parts engaging and grim tales. This world has the potential to cover a wide range of tones and subgenres, and the comics covered an impressive amount of ground to date. That includes both the Legends and mainline Disney-era canon. Both continuities do well to flesh out the gaps between the Skywalker saga, as well as exploring eras well before and after. From Dark Horse Comics' iconic Intense Dark Times series to the streamlined canon's Darth Vader comics, there are Star Wars comics with bleak outcomes. Number 10. Republic: The Battle of Jabium is a gruesome war story. Star Wars Legends has some amazing stories, and some of them deserve a canon comic book adaptation. While the animated Star Wars, the Clone Wars series provided some fantastic stories to complement the prequel trilogy, Dark Horse's comics did a similarly strong job. Republic was the flagship Star Wars book for Dark Horse at the time of its publication, and the Battle of Jabium explores the horrors of war in this universe. It's a compelling read, but the Battle of Jabium explores one of the most grueling battles Obi-Wan Kenobi, Anakin Skywalker, and the Republic at large have taken part. The story arc leans heavily into the notion of being a bleak, sci-fi-themed war story of one of the darkest periods in the Clone Wars, across both Star Wars continuities. Number 9. Purge shows Darth Vader's ruthlessness. Undoubtedly one of the most standout Darth Vader-centric Star Wars comics, Purge lives up to the darkness of its title. Set in the aftermath of the Emperor usurping the Republic and enacting Order 66, this one-shot story sees Darth Vader hunt down a group of Jedi survivors and attempt to uncover Obi-Wan's location. Purge does well to show the Sith Lord's perspective and sense of obsession with getting revenge on his former master. However, it also culminates in a somber reminder of all the brutality to come, including from Vader himself, as this is still in the early days of the Empire's reign. Number 8. Purge: The Tyrant's Fist shows how authoritarians win. While Purge is mostly remembered for the initial one-shot story, it evolved into an equally thrilling series of anthologies. Purge: The Tyrant's Fist is the fourth story in the short series, with Darth Vader arriving on a planet that historically reveres the Jedi and is tasked with hunting a survivor and reversing that overall sentiment. Like other Vader-focused stories, Purge: The Tyrant's Fist is dark in how it highlights the great Jedi Purge efforts from the point of view of its ruthless leader. But what makes this two-issue story uniquely dark is how it draws parallels with how authoritarian regimes revise history against those they conquer. Number 7. Dark Times: The Path to Nowhere forces a new reality on its protagonists. Following the conclusion of Republic, Dark Times became the relaunched flagship Star Wars comic. The Path to Nowhere was the series' opening story arc, showing how a group of broken people struggling in the Empire's early reign fight for survival. The Path to Nowhere, helped by its terrific and grounded artwork, immediately sets the tone that this post-Clone Wars world is having hope choked out of it. Jedi Master Das Jenier and Bomo Greenbark, once rivals in a Republic separatist war, coming together as allies is both inspiring and daunting, as this pairing is faced with a punishing new reality that will dominate their lives. Number 6. Dark Times: Blue Harvest is a somber sci-fi western. Paying homage to the fake working title of Star Wars, Episode 6: Return of the Jedi, the Blue Harvest arc takes on a Wild West-like approach. Separated from Bomo Greenbark and their wider crew, Jedi Das Jenier finds himself taking on a mercenary job to quell a gangster uprising in a poor town. The premise of Dark Times: Blue Harvest is moody as is, with a Jedi Master who has grown weary of a life in exile desperately trying to do some justice at the same time. Likewise, readers are shown the cruelty that the locals face in a lawless community ruled by gang rule and warfare. Number 5. Darth Vader and the Ghost Prison unveils the cutthroat nature of the Empire. Not only is Darth Vader and the Ghost Prison one of the best Dark Horse-era Star Wars comics, but it's also among the best to date. In the wake of an attempted coup on the Emperor, Darth Vader and a team of Imperial subordinates are tasked with finding a cure in the titular Republic-era prison. Darth Vader and the Ghost Prison is certainly one of the most tonally grim takes on the Star Wars universe, showing the unforgiving and corrupt nature of the Imperial hierarchy. However, it also uses its darker-than-usual approach to explore the moral gray areas that the Jedi and the Republic reluctantly delved into and hid from public knowledge. Number 4. Tales of the Jedi: Dark Lords of the Sith marks a turning point in the Great Sith War. Set in the days of the Old Republic, thousands of years before the Skywalker saga, the Tales of the Jedi series portrayed the Jedi and Sith's earlier battles in Legends canon. The Dark Lords of the Sith arc serves as a dark turning point in the Great Sith War, with the fallen Jedi Exar Kun uncovering the spirit of an ancient Dark Lord to begin rebuilding the Empire. Dark Lords of the Sith is one part of the wider Tales of the Jedi Maxiseries, taking on a grand and dramatic scope. More importantly, though, it marks the tragic outcome of yet another Jedi Knight falling away from the light side of the Force and paving the way for something horrible. Number 3. Imperial Machine depicts the origins of Vader's lightsaber. The mainline Marvel comics have been consistently high quality, and the 2017 Darth Vader run was no exception. The Imperial Machine arc opens this edition of the series, beginning immediately after Star Wars Episode 3 Revenge of the Sith as Vader begins his personal Jedi purge and constructs his red lightsaber. As one would expect from the Darth Vader solo series, Imperial Machine begins and ends with a sense of ruthlessness in the Sith Lord's hatred. Fans will see an unapologetic look into the atrocities he freely commits in the name of his vengeful mission, and with a tease of a brighter future that could have been. Number 2. Darth Vader, Fortress Vader sees the villain deal with an ancient Sith. As Imperial Machine did for Vader's lightsaber, the Fortress Vader arc tells the origins of another key piece of the villain's lore. Emperor Palpatine rewards his Sith apprentice with a place to construct his sinister base of operations on Mustafar, and an ancient artifact with the spirit of a deceased Sith Lord. Fortress Vader is set in an already oppressive setting, using Mustafar as a violent and thematically fitting locale. Between Vader cruelly fighting off the planet's native population and fending off the evil ambitions of an ancient Sith, there is no place for anything but the dark side of the Force to triumph. Number 1. Darth Vader, the Shu-Torun War further demonstrates the horrors of tyranny. Though it began before the 2017 run, the 2015 book took place between Episode 4, A New Hope, and Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back. The Shu-Torun War was the third storyline in the run, with Vader tasked with leading an assault on the planet Shu-Torun to quash a revolt and force it to conform with the Empire's rule. One of the best Star Wars comics set during the original trilogy, but the Shu-Torun War features overtones similar to Dark Horse's Purge, the Tyrant's Fist. The villain's callousness is on full display as he bends and breaks the planet to his whims, and it's the native population caught in the middle of this political and militaristic corruption who loses in the end.